Welcome to your most favorite channel, Heartbeat. This channel is mainly meant for MBBS students and medical professionals. My name is Dr. Amrit Kejriwal, and I am teaching mainly general medicine and applied medicine. As it is said, I learnt a lot from my teachers. I learnt a bit more from my colleagues, but the most I learned from my students. And I'm still learning, and I still consider myself to be a student of medicine. Today we'll learn something about obesity. Definition: excess body fat that has accumulated to the extent that it is a harmful effect on health. Harmful effect on health. Why to treat this? Because the treatment is cost effective. Obesity is increasing in prevalence. This may be due to lifestyle changes. More things can be done while sitting down. To travel a distance, we use public transport or personal transport. We do not walk. Activities have reduced. It's affecting children and adolescents. Many of them are eating junk food and you cannot help it. In due course of time, it will affect more population in near future. And it is associated with many other coexisting chronic diseases. There are associated comorbidities which come along with obesity, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, dyslipidemia, obstructive sleep apnea, non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases, degenerative joint disease, and some malignancies may be also associated with obesity. So, a detailed evaluation of every patient is required to see any associated comorbidities with obesity. What is the role of a physician? He has to take the obesity related history, see when it started, what are the activities of the person, physical examination to determine the degree and type of obesity. Whether it is central obesity, peripheral obesity, all obese patients may not be the same, and to identify which patient requires more treatment. Assessment of comorbid conditions, which I've mentioned earlier. Determination of fitness level. Patients may be walking, jogging, still they're obese. And a social history into the assessment of the patient's readiness to adopt lifestyle changes which will not affect his day-to-day activities should be done. So, for obesity evaluation, we have to see the factors that contribute to the obesity in individuals. We have to see the related disorders, level of risk. A person may be more obese than the others, but both are obese. What does the patient expect after the treatment? Whether he is motivated sufficiently or not. Type of help that is required, the psychological support, or if the patient has coexisting depression, and difficulties that he's going to get while going for treatment. How to anticipate this and how to treat this, how to overcome the difficulties, present difficulties, and other activities. Aim to we have to rule out secondary causes of obesity also. Polycystic ovarian disease, hypothyroidism, Cushing's syndrome, hypothalamic disease, and drug-induced weight gain. Insulin is a common drug that causes weight gain. So we have to rule out the secondary causes also and as a cause of obesity. Now, when we evaluate a patient, we do the anthropometric examinations, measurements. Weight, height are the common, and from this we calculate the BMI. The BMI 18.5 is below 18.5 is underweight, 18.5 to 24.9 is considered to be normal weight, 25 to 29.9 is obese, and class 1, class 2, class 3 are classified as obesity in different classifications. And this is the BMI classification of World Health Organization. Waist to hip ratio gives an indication of diabetes or coronary heart disease, and treadmill test can also be done to evaluate the cardiac status. Comorbid conditions evaluation requires lipid profile, blood sugar, HbA1c and fasting blood sugar, blood pressure measurement to rule out hypertension. The other comorbid conditions look for existing coronary heart disease, presence of other atherosclerotic disease such as peripheral artery disease, abdominal aortic aneurysm, look for symptomatic carotid artery disease, and sleep apnea. Fat gets accumulated in the nasal parts and may cause obstructive sleep apnea. We must evaluate the patient for patient compliance also. So there is always a resistance for motivation. So for any condition, you try to motivate the patient. There may be associated resistance. Anything new changes in their life, they will not adapt properly. So the motivation has to be more than the resistance. Treatment goals. So first of all, we have to reduce the obesity related complications, and main aim is to prevent future complications. So you begin with the history, physical examination and investigations, and these will decide our plan of treatment. So the treatment plan can be divided into three types: lifestyle, pharmacotherapy and surgery. Lifestyle is more common. We try to do it in every patient. Pharmacotherapy is reserved for second class, and surgery for the final class. So lifestyle, you can ask him to reduce the calories intake, 1200 to 1500 calories for women and 1500 to 1000 kilocalories per day. This may vary from person to person. Our main aim is a goal of losing 1 kg per week, so that in 3 months patients can lose about 12 kgs. Physical activity is also part of lifestyle. It is helpful for maintenance of weight loss. 10 to 15 minutes per day, at least 6 days a week, so that we get approximately around 70 minutes per day. Vigorous exercise. You can walk to the nearest bus stand or railway station, use staircase or avoid lifts, do household work, join sports, swimming, skipping and cycling. These are amongst the best physical activities to reduce weight. Behavioral therapy is also part. So the patient should have a regular weight checkup done. Avoid eating with the mobile and TV on. Self-monitoring techniques. Social support, family support is required for the very obese. Pharmacotherapy. If the BMI is greater than 30 or BMI is greater than 27 with comorbidities, then pharmacotherapy will be required, and it is usually done after failure of dietary and behavioral therapy. The classification of the pharmacotherapy can be done in two types: anorexiants and gastrointestinal fat blockers. So you can use phentermine, naltrexone, liraglutide and lorcaserin, which are anorexiants. Gastrointestinal fat blockers are orlistat. Surgery. So bariatric surgery can be done. It's mainly indicated in patients having BMI greater than 40 or BMI greater than 35 plus serious medical conditions. Types of surgery can be restrictive. It can be restrictive and malabsorptive, or it can be only malabsorptive. I will not go into the details of the surgeries, but there is still another one more treatment option, that is an intraluminal gas balloon. This can also be used as a type of bariatric surgery. It is introduced endoscopically or by gastroscopy, and this will reduce the appetite of the patient.